The OPPO A77s is one of the newest smartphone in the country, and OPPO is actually boasting that the smartphone is really stylish, especially for its price range. Why? Because the smartphone packs a fiberglass leather design for the sunset orange version, and then there's the OPPO Glow design for the starry black version. But the OPPO A77s is not just stylish, because it does come with a lot of features and a pretty interesting hardware inside. Hey guys, I'm Jam of JamOnline.ph, and today we're gonna talk about the OPPO A77s. Okay, so first, let's talk about the OPPO A77s that we got in starry black. The smartphone features a flat design on the sides, which makes the smartphone feel a little bit more premium to hold and actually feels more solid. At the back of the OPPO A77s is where we can see the OPPO Glow design with its starry black color. And actually, I like how shiny and glittery the design is at the back of the smartphone. And of course, there's the fingerprint scanner on the side, as well as the volume rocker on the smartphone. Below the smartphone is the USB-C port, and yes, it comes with a fast charging, and thankfully, OPPO didn't remove the headphone jack on the smartphone. So for those people who prefers using their wired headsets, well, they can still use that with the OPPO A77s. Now, going back to the design of the OPPO A77s, I actually like the design of the smartphone. I like the starry black color, and I like the OPPO Glow design at the back. Aside from that is the camera module at the back of the OPPO A77s. And actually, I like the design of this one as it blends perfectly well with the OPPO Glow design of the smartphone. On the front, there's the decently sized 6.56-inch HD Plus display on the smartphone, and it comes with a 90Hz refresh rate. There's also a small teardrop at the top as well. It might be an HD resolution, but it doesn't look that bad, and actually it gives a better colors than I expected. And of course, you can get a longer battery life since you got a lower resolution on the display of the smartphone. Overall, looking at the design of the OPPO A77s, it does give you an impression that the smartphone does look really cool and stylish with all these features when it comes to aesthetics. But again, that's not the only cool thing about the OPPO A77s, because again, the smartphone does come with a lot of features and a lot of interesting hardware inside. First, let's talk about the SuperVOOC charging inside the OPPO A77s. Basically, the smartphone comes with a fast charging. Specifically, a 33-watt SuperVOOC Fast charging. The OPPO A77s can be fully charged in just a few minutes thanks to this feature. And again, not all smartphones, especially at its price range, does have this kind of fast charging. Speaking of charging, the OPPO A77s comes with a large battery as well. The smartphone features a 5,000 mAh of battery, and I was able to get a whole day of battery on the smartphone. And sometimes even more depending on your usage of the OPPO A77s. Another thing to appreciate about the smartphone is the large memory inside it, as the OPPO A77s comes with a 128 gigs of internal storage. For most people, this kind of memory, 128 gigs, is more than enough for their applications and games. And if you need more, you can actually expand it with the micro SD card slot inside the smartphone. But the OPPO A77s is not just plenty when it comes to internal storage, because this smartphone can go as high as up to 16 gigs of extended RAM. So how can we do that? Basically, you got an 8 gigs of RAM already inside the smartphone, but you can get another 8 gigs from the internal storage and use it as a RAM on the smartphone, which gives you a total of 16 gigs of RAM. This means that you can run more apps and games on the smartphone simultaneously without having any issues with its memory. And that's another feature that's not present on all smartphones in its price range. When it comes to the processing power of the OPPO A77s, the smartphone comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 680 processor. It's actually a pretty popular processor that's being used also by other manufacturers, but the smartphone's processor is actually optimized for most apps and games that are already present on the Android Play Store. This means that despite having an entry-level processor, you will still get pretty good performance on most games, and of course, you can run an optimized experience on most applications. For example, we tried playing PUBG Mobile on the smartphone and we were able to set it at high frame rates, which gives me an enjoyable experience on the smartphone. But of course, it's not enough to play just one game. We actually played Genshin Impact on the smartphone, which is one of the most demanding smartphone titles on the Play Store right now. And on the lowest settings, the smartphone was really capable of playing the game without too much frame drops, and I was even able to set it at up to 45 frames per second, which is pretty cool because this processor is actually on the entry level side. When it comes to benchmarks, the OPPO A77s didn't fail us as well, as we got here a score on Geekbench, which is what we expected from a Snapdragon 680 running smartphone. Basically, most apps would run just fine on the smartphone, and if you're planning on playing games, well, the OPPO A77s can handle even Genshin Impact. Another thing that gamers would love is that the smartphone comes with an up to 200% audio. Yes, you can maximize the speaker of the OPPO A77s. With this, you could get a more immersive and a louder audio on the smartphone. So listening to music on Spotify or just watching videos on YouTube will be more enjoyable and more immersive on the A77s. As for the camera, the OPPO A77s comes with a 50 megapixel main camera paired with a 2 megapixel mono camera. And on the front, there's the 8 megapixel selfie camera. The smartphone is actually capable of shooting at 1080p at 30 frames per second. So if you love making videos, you would definitely appreciate that feature on the smartphone. And having a 1080p recording means that you'll need more storage on the smartphone. And again, we got here plenty of storage as the smartphone comes with a 128 gigs of internal storage along with an expandable micro SD card slot. As for the camera, we were really happy with the shots that we got on the smartphone, whether that's the selfie camera or the rear camera of the smartphone. It's decent enough to be used and posted on social media such as Instagram Reels, TikTok, or if you're still using Snapchat. Actually, everything was pretty fine on the OPPO A77s. Overall, the OPPO A77s got everything that you need on a smartphone. It's stylish, and it has the hardware that can get you through the day, and of course it can help you with your work or your school, or if you just want to play some games. There's the decent power, there's the Snapdragon 680 processor which is capable of most applications and games. There's the large display on the smartphone for YouTube or whatever multimedia files that you want to play on the smartphone. There's the loud audio as well, which gives you a more immersive feel, a long battery life, and of course there's the decent camera on the smartphone as well. And of course, there's the SuperVOOC Fast charging on the smartphone as well, so you can fully charge the smartphone in just a few minutes, which is a pretty cool feature. And lastly, there's the large storage as well, so you can save more applications, games, videos, and photos on the OPPO A77s. Again, there's a lot to see on the smartphone, whether that's the hardware, the style, or its features. So yeah, I guess that's it for our feature of the OPPO A77s. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and be sure to click that subscribe button along with that bell button to get notified of our latest videos here in my YouTube channel. So once again, I'm Jam of JamOnline.ph. Thank you for watching and see you guys again in my next video.